So labor support, when we get there, is one, I always tell parents, that's why I show this ahead of time and show you the things to do. If you can labor a little bit at home, that's ideal. Because they don't, now again, your situation is different. But for most, you can start having contractions. Like I had contractions for 2 days before I was ready to go in. Okay. Never stayed consistent. And that's what they'll tell you. 5 minutes apart, they have to be consistent. So the idea is whatever you can do as naturally as possible. So I'm going to show a lot of positions, which will help beforehand if you start to feel minor contractions. And are you contracting yet already?
Off and on, yeah. It's
okay.
Not great.
No, but this is good. Now I'm going to show you what to do and how to do it. So I'm going to introduce some of the things that will be at the hospital, okay. Or we can bring. Again, I don't know, where you are. I did all the babies before, I knew the hospital really well. So one thing is you're going to have a hospital bed.
Right.
The cool thing about it is it goes up and down. So does my massage table. So use the bed. You can use the bed as support. Same thing at home, depending on how high the bed is. Mm-hmm. And if it's not high enough, then you can use pillows. But the first thing that I'm going to show, and I will come this way, you come forward, Athena, and just sort of lean on the table a little bit. Bend your knees, get yourself comfortable. Oh, pop.
Yeah.
So where a lot of the contractions for back labor are felt right around the hips and in here. So I'll always ask first, like, where are you feeling it? Some will feel it around the lower abdomen, across the belly. When contractions get stronger, you're gonna feel it all over. Yeah. Back labor tends to be very typical because of the way that baby is. That's why positioning and helping and supporting can be so helpful. I think, come up closer to the table so the table can kind of support BB a little bit.
Okay.
There you go. So we're always going to make sure that mom feels stable. And we're going to put some pillows here so you can lean up on that. Your arm's up here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So the idea is that she's comfortable. So we're going to, when we get into the hospital and say I don't get there right away, you're going to get the table, just sort of adjust it if she's already contracting.
Okay.
And we're going to put things up like this just to support her so she's not having to use too many muscles to support her own body. So with contractions, and this is the most helpful thing, why don't you stand up here, Dad? So, and do your best to make sure your feet are even. So there you go. So I'm going to squeeze in like this. When I push in, and again, all you people out there, you're going to use your legs, Dad, so you don't hurt yourself because she's smaller than us. So we're going to push in like this. You should feel pressure come off of here. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're doing a contraction that's pulling here, by coming in and pushing here, and I'll always ask, is this better or is this better? And it might change. So as soon as we figure out which one's better for that contraction, then that's where we push here. So with both of us working with her, let's do that, and she'll tell you if it feels the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, use your own knees. You're going to kill your back if you don't. And sometimes, too, like a lot of dads that were really tall, they'll sit on a stool.
That makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah, you can sit on the stool, you can sit on the ball. You can do it because you have to protect your own back because we could be doing this for hours. And then for you is the breathing. And the thing that I've learned is if you tell her to breathe when she's in labor, her response may not be pretty. So the idea with mamas is you follow my breathing. So a lot of times when the contraction's really intense, you're going to hold your breath, or I might see you tightening.
Right.
And I'm going to go, okay, let's breathe. We're going to breathe in our nose and out our mouth. Ready? Follow me. We're going to breathe together. What are you doing back there?
Slacking.
Yeah. I know. So we're going to breathe in and out. If I start to notice that you're having a hard time even with that, then we'll do.
Okay.
When we get closer, the one thing that we don't want to do is before we really know that you're dilating, and that's where my problem was. I started to get myself to swell because I was going, because it was uncomfortable.
Right.
That we don't want to do. We want to use our breath. So following my breath is good.
Okay.
I will either doing it behind you or I'll do it in front of you. If you can catch it
Uh-huh.
and do it the same way, then you can do it. Some dads catch it naturally, some don't. And you guys can be practicing that too.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know how you need to breathe, you'll figure it out, but I do suggest kind of practicing it. When you
Right.
start to have those even minor contractions, practice it. See if releasing on those hip points helps, and breathe, because the more relaxed you can stay, the less chances of swelling and having any issues or any interventions, and your body's going to dilate better that way. And again, the longer you can make it, that will be helpful. So it just kind of depends on what your body's trying to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you a couple more things. So one thing for a lot of mamas is if the bed's lower, is the ball. Some will lean on like this because it will help to rock the back a little bit.
Okay.
This might be too high for you, but you come over here, I'm going to lower this. And what we would do, Dad, is either the head of the bed is up.
Mm-hmm.
That might, I'm going to lower it. You're a little
Yeah, I'm short.
You're a little shorter than me. So this table too, just like a bed, the head of the bed can be up. What we don't want to have happen is she pushes the ball goes flying and she falls over. How does that, is that a better position?
Definitely.
Now, so another part of that is rocking. Rocking can help like in between to relax.
Okay.
And if you're getting pressure down in here, that can help by rocking and moving. So I forgot to tell you last time, but want to start strengthening your legs, because otherwise your legs are going to start to kill you.
Right.
And they'll be very sore the next day, which will help. We'll carry that baby around. So by rocking and moving your legs, and again leaning forward, you're allowing the baby to kind of come down and put a little pressure, or kind of that pressure of the baby coming down is what allows the body to dilate, hopefully.
Okay.
So the ball's helpful. They have those. I use the ring if it's going to be on the floor so the ball doesn't go flying.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, which I have never used this one during labor, but I was practicing it with it the other day, because you don't have to worry about as much balance, is you can roll. So I'll show you first. So if, again with the rocking, but if you want to pull forward and back, again kind of rocking the baby, that might help with the contractions.
Okay.
You can move while we're holding, or you can stay still. Whatever's being done is what's helping you feel better. It's hard to communicate during a contraction, so you can yell at us after.
Okay.
Or you can yell different. There's times, say you're doing it and you're not right on there, you would just yell Dee Dee and I'll hop on and work through what it was. Our feeling, or if I'm not doing it right, no, that works too. So the idea is that the most important thing is you being able to be as relaxed as you possibly can through those. It'll be surprising sometimes how much easier things will go. Like I started to say earlier, out of the 50 births, I've had 3 C-sections, and one of them was triplets. They tried to do natural and it didn't work, so they were triplets. And then the 2 others were same thing, too big a baby and mom's too small. So the idea, and very few epidurals. So it kind of helps to support that, but you're the only one that knows what you need and what you need to do it. So same thing, use the table or the bed. In the hospital, we can ask for a ton of pillows. I also suggest bringing pillows, just in case if everybody's in labor at one time, that's another thing to have with you. If you have a big squishy animal, like I use elephants, then having something like that that's squishy, I'm gonna rush over here. Elephants are gonna go flying. These are used for sleep posture. The big one is good for labor and delivery. So same thing is in between, you want to be relaxing.
Right.
So this is too short for me. Being on something that's comfortable with the elephant, it's nice because it can reach around the sides. But being able to sort of relax during those times, some people like side lying will figure out like what's the best way to help you to relax. I'll massage ankles and point steering that keeps things moving unless contractions get too strong.
Right.
But do the things that kind of support that, but also that downtime in between contractions can be really important. I don't know if they're offering water, but sometimes being in the tub can help. That's the same thing. Wear shorts and a t-shirt and we'll be right there to do it. A lot of times too, if you're only on your back, say you're in the back like they're checking you and you have a contraction, I will get up on the table, Same for you. And we'll pull around the back and help lift that way. That also takes pressure off. So pretty much any position you're in, we can do our work in that position.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I'm just taking it all in.
Okay. Well, so the idea is there's a lot of education and information that can come with breath work, positioning, and all those things. If you're using a midwife, you're given a lot of that education. Normally a normal hospital birth, we don't have it like we used to when I had my son almost 24 years ago. There were programs at the hospitals where you could join and go. There's not a lot of that anymore. So feel free to go to kidsfirstforever.com. You can email me, you can ask a ton of questions. Doulas can be very helpful. Find a registered doula in your area. But for the mamas, there's so much that can be done to make sure that you're comfortable and that you have an easier, more natural labor. You can do it.
So thank you to all of you who are members, and I want to invite the rest of you, just click the join button, become a part of this team. We're having a lot of fun.